Good afternoon, and hopefully you're having a great time here in Next. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the G Suite Developer Platform. It is also known as the Knowledge Intelligence Platform. You might have seen that in the title. I just changed the name because we used it interchangeably here. So what we're going to do today is I'll give you a sense of what knowledge intelligence is about and how it is related to the developer platform that we are going to talk about, how you can leverage some of the concepts and some of the capabilities that we will enable in our platform and build these amazing apps. So my name is Sambit. I'm the product manager here. I'm the lead product manager for the area. And let's get started. So you might be wondering, yet another developer platform. We know so many of them. Now another one there. I think it'll be helpful to clarify, at least in Google context, what are we trying to do here? How is it different from what we are trying to achieve in terms of GCP? So as part of a G Suite developer, our focus is on this aspect called low code and no code. What I mean by that is, imagine a world where most of your application need, most is a kind of a nebulous word, let's say 80% of your application need. You can do it, you can visually compose and not have to code. So that means not only you guys, but anybody in your company can develop an app. So that will be the concept of no code. And the low code is where you, with a little bit of coding, till we reach the complete no code stage, I don't know when that'll happen, but you can build the app that you need. And the third category is of code, where the GCP belongs, is where you can potentially build anything that is possible. That is a full stack development. You can build anything, right? And the idea here is we will create such a compelling experience that even the full stack developer will, in most cases, use the no code and low code platform. So that's our modest goal, not like a GCP kind of a goal where you can build anything. Now, this is our mission. Our mission is to enable you to build application quickly and easily. And I'll double down on that, what I mean by the quick and easy. What I mean by quick and easy is two concepts, which is called the apps gap and the skill gap. So all of you might have seen this situation where a person comes to you from one of your line of business and say, I need this app. I'm using, let's say, one of the ERP app or the CRM app, but I need this one little thing or this one little workflow. And your answer typically will be, yeah, I have this 100 projects on my plate. So this goes to the bottom. The guy might say, hey, this is the #1 priority for our CXO, so you need to get going on this fast. So then you have to drop something from your plate to take this on, right? Why does that happen? That happens because you cannot, even with all the solutions that are available in the market, you cannot meet all the needs of all the people that you need to serve in your organization all the time, right? So there is a gap in the app space. And you only have the skill to build that. And when someone new comes in, a line of business partner, you don't have the skill to build that. So there is a skill gap. So there's two solutions to that. So one is make all your line of business partners to acquire the skills that you have so that everybody can develop. Or probably a better solution is make the platform such that anybody can develop. Make the non-developers or the people who are in the line of business developers. Give them the tools so that they can develop. If you do that, then they can build on their own. So you're bridging the skill gap, and they can build the app that they want instead of coming to you. So that is the app gap and the skill gap concept. If you're successful in both, then you will allow application to be built quickly and easily. Let me double down on that and break this mission into three things, which are a little more concrete. When you use G Suite, you have, like from a database, you want to bring data to sheets. You need to have approval workflow with identity. You have many of these applications. So all these may not be easily provided in the off-the-shelf solution that we provide. So that means you have to extend G Suite to meet this functionality needs. And as I talked about, we want to enable that use case for both developers and non-developers. So that is our first goal, to make it useful to everyone. And the second thing is we want to offer this as a platform. Today, many of the tools that you might be using, things like AppMaker, AppScripts, and other tools, they are offered sort of as disparate products on their own. They stand on their own. But what we want to do is bring to you a platform which provides the end-to-end experience for a developer, so that whatever you need as a developer, and here I'm talking about non-developers also, it is provided that. So that is the first thing. The second thing is that I want to hit on is the concept of assistive experience and enterprise knowledge. So let me explain what I mean by that. So let's talk about enterprise knowledge first. So let's say you join a company new, and you are tasked with doing contract negotiations. You don't know how contract negotiations happen in your company. So what do? The first thing you do is talk to your supervisor, or talk to your colleagues, or talk to your friends in the company to figure out who is the person who has done this before, and how can I approach that person or talk to that person. So then that person may redirect you to some other person, and then you eventually reach that person. So that means this knowledge that is there in the enterprise, which is who is the expert here in this particular area, is not institutionalized. It is there in someone's head, right? The same thing applies to things like document. Which are the best documents that describe contract negotiation process? You don't know that. You are new to the company, and there is no way you can get that. And that knowledge is, again, with someone who knows what is the document that you need to refer to. These are sort of the enterprise knowledge we are talking about. And you can extend this to, let's say, who are our best customer, who are most loyal customers that we want to take care of, who are best customer service representative. These are knowledge that is there in the enterprise, and it is not in an accessible format or not in an institutionalized format. So that's what the enterprise knowledge refers to. It is that the knowledge that is there in the enterprise, is it there in an accessible format or not, or is it in someone's head? The second concept here is what we are calling assistive experience. Assistive means something which allows you to do your main task. It helps you to do your main task. It doesn't take away the task, but in some way, it takes away the mundane from the task and help you focus on the main task. So let me give you a real-world example. So any of us who is driving a little bit of a newer car will know that you have a lot of what is called drive assist features. So keep you in the lane, allow you to look at the blind spot, or warn you to look at the blind spot, adaptive cruise. The main task, which is driving, is not going away. But some of these side tasks, the vehicle allows you to take care so that you can just focus on driving. Now remember, this is completely different from autonomous driving, which is the main task, which is the driving getting replaced. So the assistive experience is taking away some of the task and helps you drive. So let's bring it back to sort of our world, and I'll give you 3 different examples of in IT how it is useful. Think about an end user experience. So the end user experience, and you might probably have seen this in the keynote, is let's say all of us, we schedule meetings. So when you schedule meetings, we can say that, okay, I want to meet person X and Y. Won't it be nice if I exchange sort of mails with someone, and from the mail, I can just hit something, hit a button, and it goes based on the context and schedules a meeting. And it not only schedules a meeting, it finds out the meeting room for you. So this is today possible. What you want next is, or to make it more magical, is based on the context, based on the understanding of the context, if you are able to figure out what are the documents that will be relevant to the context, and you provide the links in that meeting invite. What will even be more magical, because a lot of us have to write an agenda for the meeting, is based on whatever discussion it is happening, it provides a draft agenda in the invite itself. So that is an example of assistive experience because you still have to do the meeting, but this part of scheduling the meeting and drafting an agenda and things like that, you don't have to do anymore. So that is taken care by the system. So that is an assistive experience in an end user sense. Now think of an admin. If you're an enterprise admin, you are thinking of buying different applications from the marketplace. Let's say you go to the G Suite marketplace and you are getting, or you're trying to decide what are the applications that will be helpful to me. So in that context, let's say, today you go to the G Suite marketplace, it just shows you, a lot of apps, based on popularity or some criteria. It is not contextualized to your own situation. So in a world of tomorrow, what will happen is, based on whatever is ongoing in your enterprise, the marketplace, the app in the marketplace, the automation in the marketplace, or the add-ons in the marketplace is curated to your need. The system understands what you need right now and shows you the applications or the add-ons that you need right now. And that means, the admin can choose the application that he needs in a much more easier way. Now, let's say it gives you 3 different choices. What will happen is the admin will go look at the reviews or figure out, how good the application is and do some evaluation and bring it to the enterprise. Won't it be nice if the reviews are summarized for you and the pros and cons are spelled out for you, and based on your need, you can dial up and dial down, and based on that, you decide, which applications to buy. That is another example of admin using assistive experience. And the same thing can be think about a developer where, based on what kind of code you're writing, if you're writing a code on, let's say, accessing mail API, we know the pattern is after the mail API, you invoke a calendar API. We can suggest you the code blocks so that you can build that app. So that is an assistive experience for developers. So we want to enable those sort of experience which takes care of assistive as well as enterprise knowledge. The third thing, like I talked about, our goal here is to make this kind of technologies, build these capabilities into the platform so that it is accessible to everyone, all kinds of developers and all kinds of non-developers. Everybody in the enterprise should be able to access these sort of applications. So those are our 3 key goals. Now imagine if we are successful. So this goes to the old line, developer, developer, developer. You know where this came from, and we want that. But developers are a finicky lot. They don't adopt a platform unless and until it is useful for them. We think by making it really quick and really easy so that you can visually compose application or with a little bit of code, and bringing together this assistive experience with the ability to access enterprise knowledge, we'll be able to create enough differentiation that developers will be willing to adopt this platform. Now, if they adopt this platform, what do we get? We get lots and lots of intelligent apps. These are intelligent because you are building assistive experience using enterprise knowledge. And what you can do is you can combine first party, which is Google Cloud and G Suite apps, with third party, which is a different service provider, and you are in the middle. You can orchestrate between all these 3 different ecosystems to build the right kind of apps that you need. And that itself leads to a virtuous ecosystem which creates lots and lots of apps. Now, the key message of this particular platform is knowledge intelligence. Now, let's discuss how knowledge intelligence is different from enterprise knowledge. Now, remember, in an enterprise knowledge, you have to pre-think what exactly you want. If you want who are your loyal customers or who is the best customer service representative, you have to think through and build this into the system and make it accessible to the system, accessible to the application using some particular system or some particular algorithm. So that is an explicit declarative way of getting this information. Now, like business intelligence, if we provide you the capability by which you can leverage your own data, right? You control your data, and using the technology that we provide, you don't have to pre-think that beforehand, but we will allow you to take advantage of the information that is there in your enterprise and extract out those information and make it accessible to your application. So that is what knowledge intelligence means. It is an inferred knowledge versus an explicit and declarative knowledge, right? So imagine, if you are able to do that, then, what is possible is Google. When I said Google could understand that, of course, we will build the capabilities, but then it's up to you whether you want to take advantage of this capability to get more out of your business. So if you are able to do that, if you are able to leverage this, knowledge intelligence, along with the developer platform, which allows you to take advantage of all the things that are there, then imagine what you can build. So you can build the next generation of app. The apps that we talked about, where you can potentially have a customer support call from your most loyal customer routed through the best representative that can serve that particular customer at that instant. Those kind of game-changing apps that you can build, which can really transform your business. So to summarize, what are we going to do? So we are going to help you build these new apps which can rethink your business. And to do that, what we will do is we'll help you gather information about your processes, people, systems, and we will derive the insights and provide the tools that will allow you to tap into these systems. And once you tap into the system, you can then build sort of the next generation of productivity app using sort of AI and other techniques to predict and automate a lot of these tasks. So that is what you can do with this, this next generation of apps that you are going to build. But the question is, this is a grand vision. How do you think, we are able to do that? This is like, nice, smoke and mirror. What makes us think that we will be able to build that capability? I think there are like, two fundamental advantages, the Google way of looking at it, and that's what makes us sort of, confident that we'll be able to, hit those goals. So number one, we are primarily a cloud-native platform. So that means, anything that you use, primarily everything, the whole corpus of information resides in the cloud. There is no sort of, for most part, on-prem and off-prem kind of a thing. What does that allow? That allows two things. One is, because we are at one place on the cloud, so that means the knowledge itself is not split between two different places. So that means we have the full picture of the knowledge. The second thing is, the most real-time information is available in the cloud. So the context, for example, whether you are at work, whether you are at home, whether you are holding a mobile device, or whether you are on a desktop, that information is available. And that is relevant because the way you deliver the application will be dependent on that. So the cloud-native way allows you to, first of all, get the complete set of information and allow the most real-time decision possible. So that is the first advantage. And the second advantage we have is in AI and machine learning. We think that we have earned the right, based on some of the things that we have done, we are fundamentally better than our competition in understanding this space and delivering sort of an applications that leverage this sort of technologies. And using those two, I think we can realize the vision that we just talked about. I talked about developer platform. So what is this developer platform is made up of? So like any other developer platform, we'll provide, or the best-of-breed developer platform, we will provide all these different things that you expect out of a developer platform. We'll provide tools, we'll provide documentation, we'll provide canonical apps, we'll provide APIs, we'll help build the community. And components, what are the different pieces? I'm going to talk in the following slide. But essentially, you can take the platform and use that to orchestrate between the first party, which is the Google sort of services and applications, with third party using the platform. And we'll offer this in an integrated fashion. So it will be an unified experience in the sense that it will look like it is coming from the same company or the same provider instead of looking very disparate. And this will be consisting of this particular aspect, which is the development environment. We'll provide you the code editing tool and the composition tools. We'll provide the runtime. We'll provide different infrastructure tools. and this will be infrastructure in terms of administrating your app, monitoring your app, and will provide a marketplace in which you can publish these apps. And will help you take advantage of, as I said, G Suite ecosystem, the GCP ecosystem, and the third-party services. All these three will be critical for your success. So now let's talk about something concrete, as to what are the pieces or what are the components of this platform. So like I said, all this platform will be integrated into, all these tools will be integrated into one platform, the developer platform. So the first column that we talk about is the different development tools and the runtime. So we have AppMaker, AppScript, and add-ons there. Our goal is AppMaker to make AppMaker as sort of the no-code solution to build your app. So it may not be there, it may fall short right now in realizing the vision, but the goal there is we should provide a visually composable way to build an app, and that's where AppMaker is there, and that is the no-code segment. And AppScript will be what we call the low-code segment, where with some code you'll be able to build that. And add-ons is about bringing together the host application context into your application that you are building. So that is the first thing that we are going to offer. The second thing is once you build the app, you need a way to publish it so that other people can build, other people can use that. It could be in your domain or it could be outside of your domain. And we will make sure that the published part of it from each of this development environment is you can easily publish that, and the admin can easily bring it to the enterprise using the marketplace. The third column there is data connectors, automation, and APIs. Now, we acknowledge that today we don't have a good story there. That is a gap that we acknowledge, and we are working to fix that. Data connectors will be sort of connection mechanism to your on-prem and other clouds. And we understand that today there is no way from G Suite to do that. We are thinking about it and working on it, and you should hear more in probably soon, next few months. You should be hearing something about that. So this will allow you to access, because right now we know all of us cannot move to cloud straight away. So we'll have some on-prem, some off-prem. So it is important that we connect the on-prem and the off-prem experience, and data connectors will be the way to do that. The second thing is around automation and workflow. In the enterprise workload, you may have a lot of process flows which needs to be automated, and both from a line of business standpoint and from an individual standpoint, individual productivity standpoint. And today, we don't have a clear solution there. Again, this is one of the spaces that we are working on, and this will allow you to build automations in a no-code way, and that's what we are looking forward to. And we hope we will have something for you in next few months. And the third thing is APIs. Traditionally, our API surface has not been very smooth, and if you have developed using our APIs, you will see it has been a little bit rough on the edges. We are looking at that. We will make sure that we take an API-first approach where all our products have APIs, and they are accessible in the same way. And so stay tuned, and we will have more things to talk about in next few quarters or few months. And the last part of it is administrative tools. We acknowledge that we don't have a great story. We have been delivering features on that, but it is not an integrated suite of admin tools that we have delivered. But again, that is something which we understand, and we will be delivering that. So all these 4 pieces will form the backbone of developer platforms, and that is what we want to deliver going forward. So on that journey, this is the first thing we would like to announce today, right? All our projects, all our tools, now we will have one single place where you can access. So whether it is API, documentation, community, or anything like that, all the tools, we are calling it the G Suite Developer Hub. And now instead of going to different URLs, you just go to this place, and you'll get everything that you need from this place. And we are in the process of rolling this out. We will provide you the exact URL. This will get plugged into the G Suite developer site or the Google developer site. And this is all you need to know going forward. All our new product, new features, new documentation, everything will come into this place. Okay? The second part of our journey is AppMaker. So thank you for people who have been using AppMaker for a long time. It took a long time to GA. But I think we have AppMaker in a good place right now. We launched on 14th June, so it's been about a month. But the response from the enterprises has been tremendous. So these are the sort of, the number of customers, the domains here maps to customers. And we have, more than 3,000 apps that has been developed. We have more than 50,000 users using it in a 28-day active sort of, cadence right now. So that is what, we have the second announcement here, which is, it is already launched. I just want to hit on the sort of the numbers. So that is something that you need to think about. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, there is a mic, and I'll be happy to take any questions.